Has anything happened that seemed weird?
Threshold, CBS Fridays this fall.
Good evening. I'm John Roberts. New Orleans is a toxic sewer, and still some residents are refusing orders to leave. President Bush vows to speed up financial help to victims, and the vice president gets his first look at the devastation. Again tonight, we will have full coverage from the disaster zone.
I'm Byron Pitts in New Orleans with serious showdowns between holdouts and police.
On the Gulf Coast, the priority is flood control. Here in Washington, it's damage control. I'm Gloria Borges.
I'm Lee Cowan with the story of Katrina's four-legged victims, whose time is running out.
Unprecedented need, unprecedented response. I'm Jim Axelrod with the story of America's giving.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
And Bob is off tonight. The water is slowly flowing out of New Orleans, but there is still plenty left. The Army Corps of Engineers estimates that 60% of the city remains underwater, and that water is contaminated. It is disgusting. It is dangerous. Yet some people insist on living in the middle of the germ-infested stew. The police say that most who were willing to leave voluntarily have done so. For the rest, officers have orders to remove them, but they say they will do that with as little force as necessary. CBS News correspondent Byron Pitts is in New Orleans and begins our coverage tonight.
The pumps are working, the water's receding as the levees are patched up. But it is the risk of disease in New Orleans that is rising now. With the sweltering heat and stagnant contaminated water, it is a city ripe, say doctors, for an outbreak.
Things we worry about are hepatitis A, hepatitis B, E. coli, and other bacteria that can cause tetanus. There's a lot of mosquitoes who are feeding off of these decomposed bodies, and so we're worried about increased incidence of the West Nile.
Muddied floodwater is now turning black, and black flies gather like locusts.
Mosquitoes, flies all over you. Flies all over you. Big old flies.
That was all the incentive Hezron Williams needed today to finally evacuate his family. With every rescue, authorities now provide tetanus shots. Still, thousands remain reluctant to leave.
I survived 10 days. I got a roof over my head. I'm doing just fine. And now I got to get out.
There's reluctant, and then there are those like this 57-year-old woman.
You're going to have to shoot me because I'm not going.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, I don't want you in here.
We're not going to do that.
I don't want you in here, period.
With a pistol in her hand, she cursed these California highway patrolmen for 30 minutes.
Why can't you talk right here? You see all the food I got.
Running out of options, police saw an opening and took it. She was finally taken to a shelter.
Hey, brother!
This show of force by out-of-state agencies is both a blessing and a burden, according to New Orleans Police Chief Ed Compass.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
That's why today Chief Compass swore in 17 cadets as full-fledged officers, even though they're officially still in school.
Congratulations. Now guess what? Get back to work.
If force is necessary, he'd rather it be his cops, not outsiders.
We're going to use restraint. We're going to use minimal force.
New Orleans is a city strained on all sides. Even the chief simply wants to go home.
This is what keeps me going. Daddy love y'all very, very much. That's why I'm so strong. Because I got Dad to come home to.
By this time tomorrow night, Chief Compass says those who want to leave New Orleans will be out. Those who don't will, in his words, be removed with as much force as necessary. John?
Byron, as they begin to collect all of these dead bodies, where are they going to put them?
Well, John, as you saw when you were here, there are still decomposing bodies on the streets here. But now there are makeshift morgues set up outside the city. And the state of Louisiana has provided 25,000 body bags to the city, a sign perhaps of what's to come. John?
Right, and we can only wait for when the water goes down as well. Byron Pitts in New Orleans, thanks. We have new pictures just in tonight showing the extent of the devastation along the Gulf Coast. Vice President Cheney got a look at these scenes today as he flew from Mississippi to New Orleans to review the relief operations. In Washington, President Bush promised to cut red tape and speed up federal help to the disaster victims. Gloria Borger reports now on the growing political storm over his handling of the crisis.
10 days after Hurricane Katrina flooded the Gulf Coast, the administration is still knee-deep in damage control.
The progress we're making is significant.
As the vice president made his first trip to the region, there was clearly some dispute over that.
In those areas, one of the things you got
to yourself, Mr. Cheney.
Also in the region, First Lady Laura Bush. Her assessment of the federal response?
Well, I think across the board, very, very well.
But back in Washington,
shame on Bush.
No one was hugging.
Our national government failed in its greatest responsibility, and that is protecting the lives of Americans.
There's no rallying around the president as there was after 9/11. This time, the enemy is incompetence.
Things did not go perfectly. We all know that.
No matter who is at fault, a new CBS poll shows that 2 out of 3 Americans think the president himself responded too slowly. His leadership rating, usually his strong suit, is the lowest of his presidency, a full 35 points less than it was after 9/11. Democrats see a political opportunity, criticizing what they describe as the president's mismanagement of the crisis and his skewed domestic priorities. The Republican refrain, look ahead, blame later.
We have many difficult days ahead, especially as we recover those who did not survive the storm.
Not all Republicans are holding their fire.
No American should be comfortable or should be willing to accept the sight of an American body laying in an American street, dead and decomposing because the government system was incapable of moving at modern speed with modern effectiveness.
The president declared September 16th a National Day of Prayer, but national unity may be harder to come by, John.
Gloria, obviously some of the Democratic response is to be expected as they try to gain political leverage. But the fact that some of the people who, on the Republican side, who'd like the president's job as of 2009, criticizing him to the degree that they are, could that potentially hurt him for the rest of this term?
I think both the Democrats and the Republicans could hurt him. I think this is going to have a great deal of impact on his agenda, also on the prosecution of the war in Iraq. And of course, Republicans, as you point out, have to run for re-election or for president, and this president does not.
All right. Gloria Borger in Washington, thanks very much. The search for the dead in New Orleans, expected to number in the thousands, is just beginning, and a final death toll for the entire Gulf Coast is still a long way off. But so far, local officials report 83 people dead in Louisiana, more than 200 in Mississippi. As many as 1 million survivors have been displaced. And then there's the growing economic toll of this disaster. The government said today that so far 10,000 of the workers who've lost their jobs because of Katrina have joined the line for unemployment insurance. Others joined the line for those $2,000 debit cards that the government is offering. And Bill Whitaker looks at the impact of the storm on some Gulf Coast industries.
Delivering food to shrimpers trapped in a fetid canal, reeking of rotted shrimp, unrecovered bodies, sewage, and fuel. They'd come here for safety. Katrina tossed their boats like toys.
Let us out of here!
This is the $250 million a year Mississippi shrimp industry today.
We don't have nothing to go back to.
They fear their nets will never again be as full as they were before Katrina.
It basically put us out of business.
The shrimpers would have brought their catch here. Larry Galat's family has been processing shrimp in Biloxi 4 generations.
Mississippi caught, Louisiana caught, Alabama caught. It's all ruined, you know.
If you made your living on the Gulf, you're hurting. Ports from Gulfport, Mississippi to the granddaddy of them all, New Orleans, out of commission.
In Mississippi, they build their casinos on the water. Katrina destroyed all of these along the Gulf Coast, washing away the $500,000 a day they pay in state taxes, a big hit for a poor state.
Katrina closed down the Hard Rock even before its grand opening. Damage at the Beau Rivage next door?
Well, we know it's probably 200 million, probably more.
Most of the 3,400 employees could be out of work 9 months to a year.
Annual payroll was about 96 million. It's a big deal.
The Beau Rivage is giving workers 3 months of pay and offering some jobs in other states.
It's not just the casino workers, but it's everybody. You know, everybody had local jobs and stuff, and those buildings are gone, the restaurants are gone. It's hard on everybody.
But things are slowly recovering. Some volunteers marched in to help clean up.
Anybody else
making a deposit only.
Banks are reopening, but for months to come, the only strong sector of the economy along the Mississippi coast, construction. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Biloxi.
And as the Gulf Coast deals with the devastation, we're keeping an eye on another storm tonight. This one off of the east coast of Florida. Ophelia has grown into a hurricane. It's spinning in place right now, not moving much. Its outer fringes scraping parts of the coast with rain. Ophelia is expected to head farther out to sea, then perhaps make a U-turn back to Florida next week. But experts admit they really don't know yet where it's going. Coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, the plight of the animals. Thousands were abandoned or lost in Katrina. What's being done for them is tonight's Inside Story. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes. Jeff Braun. He loved animals, soccer, and working with kids. Born in Honduras, he was adopted by an American couple. At age 16, he tried to go back for a visit, but ran out of money in Mexico. He'd given it all to the poor. His dream was to build an orphanage in Honduras, and though he died in Iraq, his dream lives on in the Jeff Braun Children's Home Foundation.
Women, they want to feel their power. They want to flex their muscles. They want to be strong and sweet forever. And they want to enjoy their calcium. One delicious Viactive Soft Calcium Chew twice a day has the same bone-building calcium as those big, chalky pills. Viactive Soft Calcium Chews, because women should get exactly what they want.
Sometimes it's hard to remember my own grandson's name.
He had trouble doing even everyday things.
These problems may not be normal aging. They could be early signs of Alzheimer's disease. Talk to your doctor. Early treatment is important. Call now to get an information pamphlet, free from the makers of Aricept, the #1 prescribed Alzheimer's medication. It suggests signs to look for and how to talk to your doctor. If it is mild to moderate Alzheimer's, Aricept can help. It is well tolerated, but not for everyone. People at risk for stomach ulcers or who take certain other medicines should tell their doctors because serious stomach problems such as bleeding may get worse. Some people experience fainting. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, not sleeping well, muscle cramps, feeling tired, or not feeling hungry. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary.
Aricept is helping him do better.
Call 1-877-MEMORY-6. If it's Alzheimer's, Aricept can help.
Finally, a denture adhesive with no messy ooze.
Announcing Polygrip Strips. These slim strips are pre-measured to give you a neat, clean seal with all the hold of a cream. New Polygrip Strips holds all day in a neat new way.
First, Benefiber revolutionized fiber by making it clear and tasteless. Now they've made it even easier to take by putting it in caplets. New Benefiber caplets. What will they do next? Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. No.
Okay.
Oh, Chubsy, come on. The answer's always...
No!
That's right.
Ow. No!
I'm not hearing it.
No! No! No!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should have worked at Capital One!
What's in your wallet?
No!
We have an update now on the storm babies. You may remember dozens of premature infants were separated from their parents so they could be evacuated from New Orleans and taken to intensive care units in Baton Rouge. All of them have now been reunited with their parents, except for one whose parents and siblings are still missing. When we speak of the victims of Hurricane Katrina, we naturally think of those babies and the hundreds of thousands of people who lost homes and loved ones to the storm. But others are suffering too, countless abandoned animals. Efforts to help them are underway, and Lee Cowan has the inside story.
They aren't counted among the dead, and they're not pointing fingers at who's to blame. But their suffering is hard to ignore. Katrina's four-legged victims are utterly alone, either left behind on purpose or turned away from evacuation buses. We hear them barking from abandoned homes. We see them stranded on rooftops and wandering the streets, some barely able to keep their heads above water.
They're living out on the streets right now.
and they're very sweet, lovable dogs.
The rescue efforts we've seen are nothing short of heroic.
Oh, Sam.
Sam had to be cut out of a roof.
Hey, happy birthday, dude. I got Sam. I got him. He's alive.
Noah would have been proud. We've seen seagoing snakes, turtles, birds, even a pot-bellied pig.
Once you get your hands on them, you could just almost feel their body relax. They're so happy to have that human contact with them.
Shirley Minshew is the Dr. Doolittle of this disaster. She has a list of some 3,000 pets she's determined to save.
So you're essentially almost just going door to door.
Yes.
Or rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
You might wonder why anybody would risk their lives in this muck to save a dog or a cat or a pot-bellied pig, whatever. It's not just about those irresistible eyes or those wagging tails. It's that pets may very well be the only thing in these people's lives that they can actually save.
It's very heart-wrenching, it's gut-wrenching to see that they come in here and all they want are their pets because it's the only thing that they have left.
Daniel Lorenz lost his home and his 2 lambs.
It would be the greatest thing to happen to me, just, to get my dogs back.
We watched as he searched every pen in this animal shelter, and nothing.
I guess you got to really be a pet owner to know, how much it hurts,
In a community of so much loss, the power of a pet seems boundless. Lee Cowan, CBS News, New Orleans.
You're watching the CBS Evening News. And coming up next, think FEMA and other federal agencies could not have foreseen what Katrina did? Maybe they could. That story in a moment.
At Hyundai, we believe for all the ways we can help you survive an accident, we should provide just as many to help you avoid one. The all-new 2006 Sonata, the only midsize sedan with electronic stability control and 6 airbags standard. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Fix-It and Control has a precision tip nozzle so you can put just the right amount, just where you want it. That's why Fix-It and Control is 5 times better at helping seal out tough food particles. So no more corn without the cob. Fix-It and Control. Life with more bite.
Let's check on the crowds at the Ace Hardware sale. Neil.
Yeah, Neil said he'd be right back. He's buying stuff.
The Ace Alpha Hardware Day sale. Great deals like $10 off 2 gallons of Ace Royal Paint and a 3-pack of Ace Paint Rollers. Free after rebate. Sale starts Friday at Ace.
Beauty is ageless. My secret?
Age Perfect Double Action. It's more than just a moisturizer. 1 with Elastium De-Crinkle Skin Surface. 2 with Pure Vitamin C Illuminates Skin.
Smoother and decrinkled.
Age Perfect Double Action Treatment from L'Oreal Paris.
Sometimes you just can't get away from high cholesterol. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor can lower your bad cholesterol from 39 to 60%. And if you have several common risk factors, Lipitor can reduce your chance of a heart attack by 36%. Lipitor is one of many cholesterol-lowering treatment options in addition to diet and exercise that you and your doctor can consider. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or who may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of a rare but serious side effect. Ask your doctor about Lipitor today.
Millions of Americans with diabetes may soon have an alternative to at least some of their daily injections. It's a form of insulin that can be inhaled. An FDA advisory panel recommended approval today for inhaled insulin despite concerns about possible long-term effects on people's lungs. Well, more now on the devastation in the Gulf. Everyone, including President Bush, agrees there must be an investigation of the sluggish government response to the disaster. But it's now clear there was plenty of planning for a hurricane strike in New Orleans. As Anthony Mason reports, though, planning and preparing are two different things.
Katrina seemed to catch many government officials by surprise. But only last summer, this computer model forecast just what Katrina would bring.
This is the hurricane.
Hurricane Pam was only a simulated storm, but it packed 120-mile-an-hour winds.
Let's take a look at this situation.
Professor Elizabeth English of Louisiana State University's Hurricane Center helped in this emergency response exercise.
Pam simulated a large amount of water being swept from Lake Pontchartrain over the levee into the bowl of New Orleans.
The storm surge projection showed the levees would be overwhelmed by even a Category 3 hurricane they were designed to withstand.
The red represents the water.
And the city would be swamped under 20 feet of water. For 5 days last summer, FEMA, the National Weather Service, and the Army Corps of Engineers all monitored Pam and forecast devastating consequences if a similar hurricane hit the city.
Unfortunately, so much of it is exactly what happened. We predicted that people would be trapped in their homes and sitting on roofs. We were predicting enormous fatalities and enormous distress.
And what did they learn? FEMA, in its own press release at the end of the Pam exercise, said, "We made great progress in our preparedness efforts."
Did we pay enough attention to Hurricane Pam?
Of course not.
Former Louisiana Senator John Breaux.
Did that get a lot of attention down there?
It got a lot of attention down there and also got a lot of attention in Washington. I mean, when people say this was a total surprise, but it really wasn't a total surprise.
Pam wrote the script for Katrina. The surprise wasn't that the levees failed. The surprise was, with all we knew, how unprepared we were for the consequences. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
An investigation by the Associated Press finds that the federal government's $5 billion program to help businesses recover after 9/11 was so badly managed, it gave low-interest loans to companies not even affected by the attacks. Loan recipients included a country music radio station in South Dakota, a perfume shop in the Virgin Islands, a dog boutique in Utah, and more than 100 Subway sandwich and Dunkin' Donut shops across the country. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, Americans great and small respond to the plight of hurricane victims with unprecedented generosity. You'll meet some of them in our Eye on America next.
The cost of heating your home. Oil and natural gas prices were already on the rise. Now, thanks to Katrina, costs are predicted to skyrocket. So how high will they go and how soon? We'll take a hard look tomorrow in our Friday Consumer Alert on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust.
Got gas, pressure, bloating? Tums doesn't treat gas. To treat gas, use Gas X. For fast, powerful relief.
Popcorn? Ooh.
Gas X beats the bloat, and acids don't.
It's frustrating. Just when you're ready to relax, that's when it happens. The urge to move, along with uncomfortable sensations in your legs. They're hard to describe, but they can even keep you from getting to sleep. You feel the urgent need to get up and move, just to get some relief. There's a name for it, restless leg syndrome. And if you have it, you're among the nearly 1 in 10 U.S. adults who do. Want to know more? Visit restlesslegs.com or talk to your doctor.
Looking for a fresh solution in bladder protection? Then take a look at our new improved Serenity Pads from Tena with Odasor Plus to help prevent odors and a unique soft top sheet with multi-inlets that absorb liquid faster than ever before. Serenity feels dry. You feel fresh.
I am dedicated. And I'm a diabetic. That's how I feel when I test with my meter, the Accu-Check Aviva.
Designed to fill correctly the first time, to make every strip count. The new Accu-Check Aviva system.
With 3,800 students and a staff of 200, Carol is a formidable woman. But she was no match for something smaller than the point of a pencil. It knocked her out so fast she didn't know what hit her. It was a clot. Like Carol, if you've been hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS, chances are you've had a clot. But now, Carol's doctor is helping increase Carol's protection against heart attack and stroke by putting her on Plavix. Plavix, in combination with aspirin and other heart medicines, helps provide greater protection against heart attack and stroke than aspirin and other heart medicines alone by helping keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you shouldn't use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. To minimize this risk, talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Ask your doctor about Plavix today, because no matter how formidable you are, you're no match for a dangerous clot.
Coming up in just minutes on News Channel 5 at 6, Perry March was arrested for the murder of his wife Janet, but we didn't know why. Today we have more information on the evidence against him.
Dozens of countries around the world have offered help for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, and some of that aid arrived today in the disaster zone. A giant Airbus cargo jet landed in Mobile, Alabama, delivering 22 tons of relief supplies from Britain and France. Many Americans are also, of course, stepping forward with help for the hurricane victims. Jim Axelrod has tonight's Eye on America.
Lemonade and cookies.
From little kids in their lemonade stands,
we're doing this for Hurricane Katrina,
to corporate America's deep pockets.
We gave $1 million on Monday. We gave $1 million on Tuesday.
We just can't seem to give enough.
Help Americans. That's what we're doing, helping our people.
So far, Americans have given $587 million to victims of Katrina. In the 10 days after 9/11, Americans donated $239 million. In the 9 days following the tsunami, $163 million. The response to Katrina dwarfs it all.
Thank you so much for your very generous check.
In the link between heart and wallet seems to be some vital connection Americans must make right now.
I just keep looking at my kids.
It was all over pro basketball star Stephon Marbury's face. He's giving $500,000 to relief efforts. That well-deserved image of the self-absorbed athlete living on planet me, Katrina blew that away as well. Everyone wants to do something. It's why buses rolled from New York, backhoes from South Carolina. It's why New Yorker Hector Hoyos dropped $10 grand on supplies he's driving south himself. When word got out, people just started bringing stuff to Hector. 40 tons worth.
Are you a little surprised at the extent of the response?
Shocked. Walmart's made the largest relief donation so far, $17 million. Well, that depends how you measure. That ball Hector's holding came from a woman whose little boy died a few months ago.
She went into her son's bedroom. She packed everything up. She came over here and donated it. And she gave me this ball, and she said, this is a very special ball. Make sure it gets to a special kid in Louisiana.
The convoy left this morning. So as soon as this weekend, some special kid should be bouncing one very special ball. In New York, this is Jim Axelrod for Eye on America.
And just a closing note here, after seeing the pictures of the devastation and the hardship and the human suffering last week, how could you not want to help? And that's the CBS Evening News for this Thursday. For Bob Schieffer, I'm John Roberts in New York. Thanks for making CBS your choice for news. Have a good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on cbsnews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Good jobs. Good people. Great opportunities. Come grow with us at Walmart.
Heating your home. Thanks to Katrina, costs are expected to skyrocket. How high will they go? A consumer alert tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust.
This is CBS.
This is part of it. There's a whole box of other stuff as well.
Attorney John Herbison finally has the state's evidence for murder charges against his client Perry March. So what did he find? Nick Barris investigates.
And Hurricane Katrina residents headed to Middle Tennessee may have short-term housing, but what if they want to take up roots here? Where will they all go? We examine the problem.
And we now have the 7th hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season. This is Hurricane Ophelia spinning off the east coast of Florida. Your news begins now.
From your news and information leader,
winner of the Emmy for News Excellence. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Chris has the night off. Tonight, we know more about the case against Perry March.
First on 5, defense attorneys now have in hand the district attorney's evidence against March. News Channel 5's Nick Barry spoke with lawyers on both sides today. And Nick, how much do we know?
Well, Vicki, right now we're just hearing bits and pieces of all this. Attorneys are hesitant to talk about the evidence at this stage. Still, new details are emerging, and tonight we do have a better sense of the case prosecutors now have against March for the alleged murder of his wife, Janet.